And welcome in, everybody, to Shrive Network's coverage of Blair Academy Athletics as the Buccaneers take on the Warren Hills Blue Streaks today, live from Hampshire Field. Alongside Derek Raymond, I'm Tom Monfiletto, and we are back on the field to give you some more girls lacrosse action. The last time we were here, we saw some standout performances by the captains here, notably Callie Millard and Natalie Pearson, and they look to continue their hot streak on the offensive side, putting the ball in the net as much as possible here against a Warren Hills team that comes into the year 5-10 on the year. Blair stands at 3-7. It is their second to last game of the season, Derek. And this is a game that they are looking to bounce back from their loss against Sparta and try to end the season on a good note.
You know, during the Sparta game, I saw some really good developments for the offense that Blair needs to carry over. They were able to cycle and set up their offense quite nicely. Unfortunately, at times, their defense was caught off guard. They left a man or two behind them, and so they weren't able to scramble on D like they should have. But I'm looking forward to them setting up their offense again and being consistently in the zone, controlling the ball and controlling the clock.
One of the biggest offensive components of that game against Sparta was number 11 captain Callie Millard. Callie Millard has 37 goals on the year. She has 13 assists, 16 draw controls, and she is one of the captains of this Blair Academy team. She was an offensive juggernaut in that game. We weren't sure whether or not she was going to play today. She's had some nagging injuries, but she is on the field. She doesn't want to miss this one. The junior from Manhasset, New York, has done a fantastic job here. Coach Earn actually went to Blair Academy. She graduated in 1996. She's the photography and design and dimensional design teacher here at Blair Academy, and she is super positive about this squad. She had high expectations for this team. She wanted them to leave this year with a whole lot of confidence, and I think that's beginning to happen this year. We'll hear from her at halftime with a more in-depth interview that we shot before the season started, and Coach Earn wasn't happy about the performance against Sparta, but she was happy about certain things that occurred during the game, most notably the player for goalie, Mia Lambo, who did a fantastic job, even though she let up a good amount of goals, but she had some nice saves in there as well. And on the offensive side, obviously, Callie Millard and Natalie Pearson, and the freshman Emily Dehan did a fantastic job as well, covering for Megan Burney, who unfortunately got 2 cards in that game and had to sit the whole second half. So there is a healthy Callie Millard today, a healthy Natalie Pearson, a healthy Megan Burney, and their captains here have been their leaders all season long. As we said, they're only juniors. They graduated a ton of talent last year, but they look to finish the season on a high note, build some momentum into next year.
Yeah, it was unfortunate to see Burney get relegated to the bench so early. I remember the call. It was a dangerous follow-through that ended up forcing her to sit. And if you'll watch the broadcast, you'll know how I feel about that. So it's a sore subject for me, so I won't go into it now. I'm just hoping that we don't see any more calls like that, and all the girls play to the regs right now. As you see the referees performing the monotonous task of checking the stick.
And they will be checking the stick of the starters here for the Blair Buccaneers. They are Megan Burney, the midfielder, Natalie Pearson, Callie Millard. They're all pretty much attack, but they are midfielders as well, so they'll be on both sides of midfield. Abby Bodner, Emily Dehan, Annie Finney, and Reed Von Stadi rounding out the attack for this Blair Buccaneer team. Haley Gelberg, Nisha Gupta, Megan Grant, and Shay Lawless on the defensive end, and Mia Lambo in net. So we saw some serious offensive production from the likes of Pearson and Millard. And we are looking to see some more production out of some of the younger girls here, most notably Emily Dehan. Annie Finney had a great game as well, the lone senior on this Blair Buccaneer team. We saw some positives out of Emma Loring, who you'll see come off the bench, and Shay Lawless also doing a great job on the defensive side. So a lot of potential here, a lot of bright future stars for this Blair Buccaneer team, and this is a great way to showcase that. Against the Warren Hills team, it's only their 3rd year in existence. It's only the 3rd year as a varsity program. Last year they entered the Skyland Conference, and they got kind of a taste of what high school lacrosse was all about, so they struggled a little bit last year in their first year in a conference where they played all independent league schedule their first year, and this year they're on a 2-game win streak, and they're 5-10, so definitely a step in the right direction for this Warren Hills team.
Yeah, Northeast Lacrosse is nothing to joke about here. So coming into a conference like Skyland, you're going to face plenty of really good teams and even independents around the area. I mean, the New York metropolitan area is lacrosse country. So It's good to see them continuing to develop and at the very least staying strong, getting some wins under their belt. So I'm looking forward to a competitive match here today.
They will play their first state game in school history on Thursday against Mendham High School. So that's something that the entire town is excited for. Hannah Cicerelli, the sophomore for this Warren Hills team, currently has 51 goals, has the school record for most career goals. So look out for her. That's number 3. She'll be a midfielder here today for the Blue Streaks.
Yeah, I mean, as such a young program to have such a bright star already is she's really setting the bar high for generations to come.
So Megan Burney will take the face-off against Lexi Rotino, the sophomore midfielder. So a lot of young players here for Warren Hills. So 2 young teams. And we will get set to go here. That's Natalie Pearson you see running onto the field.
Draw control, so important here.
And this one will go to Warren Hills. That'll be picked up by number 23, Carrie Callahan, weaving in and out of the defense, and she'll be guarded right off the bat by Megan Burney. So we did a lot of talking about the offensive skills of all 3 midfielders for this Blair Buccaneer team. I'm sure one of the things they think that they need to improve on is helping out their goalie, Mia Lambo, in minimizing the open shot opportunities and some of the open lanes that we saw against Sparta.
Yeah, Blair was doing a really good job of the initial defense, but once you saw, in the case of last week, it was Sparta. Once you saw Sparta get behind the net, they kind of would just lose sight of the man in front, and oftentimes they would just leave someone open. So I'm looking to see them with eyes on the back of their head and their heads on a swivel and being able to see the lane.
And we just saw there Hannah Cicerelli, who had a shot go a little bit off track there, but they're going to look to get Hannah in front of the net as much as possible today. She controls it now. Gets a nice pick by Callahan, and they're going to call a foul, some roughhousing on the part of Megan Byrne, I believe, who fought through that pick. And now Cicerelli will have a free run at it.
Yeah, you said nice pick, but it might have been a little bit too rough.
So here comes Cicerelli, fires it at the cage, and this one is in for the first goal of the game. So Hannah Cicerelli puts Warren Hills on board first. And it'll be 1-0 now, 23 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in the first half.
And there's a couple different philosophies when taking that free shot. Most girls that I've seen, they'll actually take, as many steps as they can to get in. But Hannah Cicerelli, I mean, as soon as the whistle was called, she took one step to wind up and just fired it in.
Face-off controlled once again by Warren Hills. That's Rachel Phillips. Now gets it to Cicerelli, and Abby Bodner giving chase for Blair. Cicerelli works her way past Bodner and past Megan Grant, and another goal goes into the net from the stick of Cicerelli.
I know who Blair has to mark up today. If they didn't get the scouting report 2 minutes in, they know now. It's going to be Cicerelli all day in front of that net.
So 2 goals already for Cicerelli to add to her career high in goals, or career record, I should say, at Warren Hills.
She's just continuing to pad it. Yeah, and last week, I mentioned earlier how important draw control is. Last week, Blair was really struggling for the better part of the match to win face-offs. So they really do need to win this and continue to win them if they want to stand a shot at staying in this game.
Burney will go after it once again. When Burney exited the game against Sparta, Callie Millard took that duty, and this is a great job by Burney. She can't control it, though, and it'll go back to Cicerelli. Burney giving chase down the right sideline. Gets her off of her path, so now Cicerelli will be behind the net, and she'll look for a teammate to do the work now.
That's a nice job by Burney to stay with her and force her outside the house and force them to really set up their offense instead of Cicerelli just taking it straight to the net.
Nisha Gupta defending underneath. Rachel Phillips with it, gets it knocked away by Abby Bodner. Bodner's going to pick it up and go the other way for Blair. Looking for Reed Von Stad, a nice pass and a nice catch by the attackman for Blair. Von Stad, a freshman from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And this one knocked away by Millard, but it'll be scooped up by Bailey Cahill. Cahill gets it knocked away, but we have a whistle on Millard.
Millard giving chase for quite a long time. I think her stick check just got a little too low on the hands there.
A beautiful interception by Annie Finney, but she can't control it. Now Emily Dehan from Long Valley, New Jersey, picks it up. Emily, one of the quicker footed Blair Buccaneers. Got 21 and a half to go here in the first half. Warren Hills leads 2-0. Blair with the ball in the Warren Hills zone for the first time today. The back of the net, that's Bernie. A nice move in front of the net, and she finds the goal. A beautiful move by Megan Burney. If we could take another look at that. First, a move to get in front of the net, and then to go back to the right bottom hand corner to get the goal for Blair. This was an outstanding athletic play and nice awareness to find the hole.
Yeah, it was really nicely set up by just streaking to the back of the net to draw defenders in. And it was just her speed to be able to go around and give herself a lane to shoot.
It's a beautiful shot as well. We will start once again, and it will be controlled by Cicerelli. And a whistle will stop play momentarily. Cicerelli will start with it about 30 yards out.
Look for her to shoot here. She does have a great shot, as we saw from that from the free run.
And this one will find the net once again, this time from number 23, Carrie Callahan, the junior midfielder for Warren Hills. And the score will now go to 3-1 in favor of the Blue Streaks.
This one, it was just a little, it outworked. Number 23, that's Carrie Callahan. She just outworked them and was able to dip her shoulder in and really cut back to the net instead of being what Blair wanted to do, which is force them around to force them to set up an offense.
So we will go to the draw once again. And this is controlled by Abby Bodner.
All right, so that's Blair's first control off of a face-off, and they need a lot more of these.
And Bodner's going to take it all the way down deep into the Warren Hills zone by herself. She's going to look for Millard behind the net. Gets it knocked away momentarily, but gets it back, and now it's on the ground once again. But a whistle will keep it in Blair's possession. Carrie Callahan showing some outstanding moves. That was some serious skill work on the offensive zone. This goes to Millard. Picks it up. She's got a shot on goal, and this one is good. Callie Millard with her first goal of the game makes it a 3-2 ball game.
Yeah, it was an excellent job of Millard to be able to pick up that pass. She didn't handle it well right off the bat, but she was able to recover it immediately, which didn't cost her anything. We'll see off the whistle here. She gets the pass, just pops right out, has the wherewithal to just keep her eye on it and stay with it, able to cut across, get a lane, rip a shot, goal.
That seems to be the method of attack here. So if they get the ball to Millard behind the net, it could be fortuitous for the Buccaneers, as this draw is technically won by Blair.
Yeah, a dangerous move with the stick. She caught Bernie in the head.
And here comes Bernie, stutter step. Now she goes to the right where she's more comfortable. Gets knocked off of her path by number 10, Emily Rother. Now it's back to Millard behind the net where she is so dangerous. She'll bounce it back to Bernie. And covered by Julia DeFeo. And we'll have a whistle behind the net. And it looks like it will go against Blair.
Let's see who maintains possession here. Looks like Bernie will stick with it.
Oh,
So
no, not against Blair. You're right. Another stutter step. Now comes back to her left, gets it back to Millard behind the net. Trades places. A nice pass to Finney inside. Great defense by Warren Hills. But we will have a flag on the play.
and this one's going to be worth a trip to the box here. Maybe not. It is just going to be a free run.
Here comes Finney. Gets it knocked away from behind. That's an outstanding defensive play by number 18, Allie Brewhard.
So you saw that the difference, and looks like we may get another free run here because of possibly kicking the ball, but you saw how quickly you have to get the shot off or else you're just swarmed by the defense. So Millard may have a different strategy here, and that's just take one step and rip.
Here comes Millard. Basically, as easy as it gets, Callie Millard with a free run at the goal. That's going to be a goal every single time. So the game is tied now 3-3. That is Millard's second goal of the game.
And just like we saw earlier, how pivotal it is to have possession here, and those start off the draw. So Blair doing a really nice job to recover here, and the past couple of draws have been in their favor, and just like that, we're at a 3-3 game. So continue winning the draw, continue maintaining possession, continue to score.
See Bodner with Cicerelli to her left. This is won by Warren Hills. And racing down the field is number 4, Lexi Rutino. Gets this one all the way into the net.
And there's not much you can do about pure speed. I mean, she's just going to take it all the way. Let's see if we can take this one all the way from the draw here. It's over very quickly, but I mean, pretty much right off the bat, here's right off the draw, and she just puts her head down, cradles it, and no one in front of her to really stop her, so she's just going to take it all the way and dump it right in.
Yeah, I think Lawless got a little bit hung up. She had 2 attackmen for Warren Hills to either side and was caught deciding which one she should cover.
Way to go.
And she forgot about Rutino, and Rutino just got one step ahead of her, and that's all she needed.
It's tough to really decide what you should do as Blair wins the draw here. Millard comes flying in. I mean, should you take away the angle of the pass and rely on your goalie to make that stop, or try and get in the way of the whoever has possession? But, you know, you can't pick right every time.
And Millard, like Adrian Peterson at Oklahoma, gets through the entire defense of Warren Hills. But this will eventually end up back in Bernie's stick. Bernie in front of the net. She's going to put a shot on goal, and it is stopped by Warren Hills. And it will eventually be...
I think that's going to be Blair in a free run.
I think there's a whistle on Warren Hills. Nope, I think they're going to...
No?
No, we'll see.
All right, it's coming back out. And then Blair guilty of possibly getting... Oh, no, it is Blair. They just decided to take it outside the zone.
All right, so now we have Abby Bodner with it. Pearson can't control it, and Rutino is off to the races once again. Lexi Rutino, nothing but open field ahead of her.
Speed.
And a beautiful pass and a goal in front. That is by Kylie Guidi, the junior attackman for Warren Hills, and Lexi Rutino got it going once again. So she now has a goal and an assist on the day.
Yeah, and you'll see as Kylie Guidi's just sitting there waiting for a pass here. And she is flying. I mean, no one can really keep up with that, and Guidi just sitting there waiting for it, ready to pull back and fire.
Guidi not much of a challenge in front of the net. Warren Hill's been able to get some pretty good looks so far. And here's another speedster. Gets it back to Guidi, and another goal by Kylie Guidi. 6-3 now the score.
Yeah, there's one thing that this Warren Hills team seems to have is pure speed. And
that was Rachel Phillips leading the charge for the Blue Streaks.
And you know what you have to do is you have to match speed with speed. You have to get someone that can run with them, or else they're just going to leave everyone in the dust, and Blair's going to be playing on their back heels, just kind of waiting for the speed to come to them, and by then they're going to have someone posted up waiting to shoot. So they need to be able to run with this Warren Hills team.
Burney wins the draw, and now she's off. Megan Burney with the ability to take control of a game. Now gets behind the net. Dehan can't grab it. She picks it up off the ground, gets it back to Burney. Burney's got Millard with her behind the net. This is where the magic happens on this offensive unit.
Yeah, this trio right here of Finney, Burney, and Millard is their powerhouse.
And this pass goes over the stick of Millard. Millard still fighting for it. Emma Frost, the goaltender for Warren Hills, scoops it up. And she will get it out to number 18, Allie Bruhard. Allie crosses the field, finds Cicerelli, a beautiful pass, and Cicerelli now with some room to run. Cicerelli, a move to the left, shot on goal. This one goes wide. And Callahan racing for it, along with Shay Lawless and Megan Grant.
Blair will get that one. I think they beat the shot out, or the outstretched hand they did. That's number 23, Callahan.
So good hustle by the Blair defenseman. And another whistle here.
Looks like she got bopped on the head. Nice move. Give herself some space to get an outlet pass in.
That was Shay Lawless bringing it up. Now it's Abby Bodner who's going to cross midfield. Phillips flanking her to her left. Bodner all the way down the right side. Looking for a centering pass. Can't find anybody, and she'll settle with it behind the net. Von Stadi goes to the perimeter. Bodner gets some room and gets it to Pearson. Pearson with her first shot on goal and gets it to go.
What a job by Bodner to create space. I mean, she pretty much took that all herself all the way down from center field. And we'll see this set up. You know, couldn't cut it to the middle, couldn't get a pass off, so she's going to settle behind the net, wait for her offense to respond. Doesn't see anything she likes, so she'll switch hands here, which is a great move to open the lane back up. And I was expecting a shot, but she gave it right up to the point. Pearson with a great shot.
Natalie Pearson, one of the three captains. She's a team leader in assists. She's got 13. She's the third leading scorer coming into the game with 16. That's her 17th on the year. The junior from Ridgewood, New Jersey, getting it done here for Blair.
And it'll be Blair's ball again off the faceoff. So this is very good for Blair. Every time they've gotten it in the offensive zone, they've pretty much scored.
Here comes Pearson once again.
A little bit of too tight a defender.
It's Julia DeFeo with the infraction. Pearson's going to have a free run out of here. Pearson, Millard, Burney, this kind of talent is what you need to get back from big deficits. The score now 6-4 and another whistle.
Just before the shot went in, and if it's in Blair's favor, they're kind of wishing that they waved that one off because that was a great shot, but it's going to be a free run and likely a rip at the feet for a goal.
So here comes Burney. Shot on goal, bounces it up and in.
What an angle.
Megan Burney, a fantastic job there.
Now let's see if we can take a look here on our sideline cam as we see the free run set up. She'll bounce it very, very early. I'm hoping that you'll be able to take a look here. But she bounces it so early, a good 5 feet in front, and just gets under the crossbar. What a great shot.
That's a lot of practice. That's a lot of late nights out here at Hampshire Field. Working the turf, working the bouncing, knowing where it's going to go.
That's a product of this being your home field and knowing exactly where your limit is to hit that bounce shot in.
Bernie gets it to Millard. Millard gets it knocked away by Amanda Crampton.
Yeah, it's I don't understand that one, how they're going to call that on Millard here. She had the ball, so it's pretty much up to her to decide where she goes with it. But
Katie Thompson gets it picked off by Nisha Gupta. And a foul now on, I believe, Lexi Rattino from Warren Hills. Then it'll be Blair ball. So Gupta with the free run here. She's got Millard and Annie Finney in front of her. Gupta off to the left, going towards the corner. Finds Millard. Bernie streaking towards the goal. She bypasses Bernie, gets it out to Finney. Finney with it on the perimeter. And this is Emily Dehan. Dehan tries to get it back to Finney, but Megan Bernie is going to pick it up, and they'll start all over. Coach Earn calling out a play here for the Buccaneer offense. Bodner to Pearson. Pearson with a nice pass underneath to Millard. Millard gets it back out to Pearson. It's a little too much traffic in front of the net.
yeah, the pass was high. She did a good job to stop it and give herself a chance to handle it, but a little too high, so she just kicks it back out. Offense will reset.
So a long possession here for Blair. They're going to look to find some kind of a seam in this Warren Hills defense. Pearson looks for Bernie, and this one knocked away. So good job by this Blue Streak defense. Millard fighting for it, and eventually it will go to Warren Hills. That's number 18, Allie Brewhard, fighting for it. And she will take it now for the Blue Streaks. Brewhard, a little bit too much on that pass, but Abby Cuff streaking in is going to get it off the ground.
Yeah, really streaking in. She was flying.
A lot of speed on this Warren Hills team. Good deflection there. I believe that was Haley Gelberg, and this is now picked up by Pearson. Pearson, the long pass to Bodner. Nice catch by Bodner. She's going to cross the field now. She's got Von Stade, gets it back to Finney. Bodner gets it taken away from Amanda Crampton, by Amanda Crampton. Crampton's going to scoop this one up again. Both teams working extremely hard here on the field. We're seeing some really good play so far here. 6-5 the score in favor of Warren Hills. 10:20 to go. Long pass is complete to Katie Thompson. And Gelberg giving chase. Next to Cicerelli, Gupta on the left. Going to see some bumping here, and eventually a foul will be called. And I think they're going to call it on probably Natasha or Nisha Gupta. Cicerelli looks like she's going to start with it. So here comes Cicerelli. She's got some numbers. Gets it back out, and now Warren Hills is going to start a possession of their own.
What Blair really needs is a strong defensive stop here. I mean, they need either Mia Lambo to kind of step up and stop one here to give the defense some confidence, or the defense to force a turnover here. Just either way, defense has to come up with a stop.
Kylie Guidi with 2 goals already on the day. Working against Shea Lawless, and this one gets deflected back towards midfield. Cicerelli with 2 goals of her own picks it up. Cicerelli scored 2 goals very early in the game.
Yeah, within the first 2 minutes.
Guidi gets it to Cuff. Cuff drops it, but gets it back herself. Megan Grant knocks it away, but a flag will be called on Grant. So it looks like another free run here for Warren Hills. And is there anything tougher for a goalie here than this play?
Probably not. I mean, you've got very little time to react. They're so close in, and they're going to run.
Oh, and she fires
Nice
it
stop.
from about 10 yards out, and a nice block by Mia Lambo.
Kick save and a butte.
Shea Lawless with it now, gets it to Von Stadi. Von Stadi to Millard, and here she goes. Callie Millard. She's going to beat everybody down the field. And a beautiful pass inside to Dehan. Dehan gets it off the crossbar. And this will travel out of bounds. Blair will maintain possession. Few things more exciting on a lacrosse field than Callie Millard in open space. Finney back out to Pearson. Pearson looks like she's running the point guard here for this Blair attack. Bernie behind the net. Finds Pearson again. Ooh, very dangerous play as Millard comes up to receive the pass but gets knocked to the turf. And make sure everybody's okay.
I don't understand how this is not Blair ball. I really don't.
Well, the players are getting an explanation from the referee. We are not. 7 minutes to go here in the first half. 6-5 the score in favor of Warren Hills. But Blair loses possession. Don't quite understand it either.
Yeah, hopefully during a stoppage we'll be able to take a look and maybe that'll clear some things up for us. But, yeah, we'll see. Unfortunately, it really kind of stymied their offensive flow right there.
Emma Stone will get it back out to Cuff. And Finney and Grant are going to try to stick with the speedy Cuff as she races down the right sideline. Unable to do so. Grant takes a poke at her stick, but she gets it to Cicerelli in the middle of the field. Cicerelli slows it down, and she'll get it back to Cuff. It's a nice catch on a high pass. Guidi walking with it gingerly behind the net. Good defense by Gupta and better defense by Bernie, but a whistle will blow this one dead. It's like Bernie might have caught Cicerelli on the hand with her stick.
She is shaking her hand, doing a good job of selling it.
We got about 5.5 to go. Cicerelli, or that is Rattino, with a free run for Warren Hills. And Rattino gets this one blocked by Lambo. So
Nice
Lambo,
stop.
2 for her last 2 on the free runs for Warren Hills. And here comes Gupta with some room to run.
That's exactly what Blair needs. They needed Mia Lambo to really step up and put the defense on her shoulders here.
Pearson with the spin move. Gets it back to the middle of the field. And she will get to her comfortable spot off on the left wing. Pearson behind the net. Looking for Bodner coming towards the net, but she'll just get it back to Bernie. Here comes Bernie. Bernie spins.
This looks like a free run here, interference. And
So
it is.
Megan Bernie with an opportunity for her 3rd goal of the game. Here she comes, bounces it off the ground. A nice stop by Frost.
Yeah, it was right at the feet, and Frost able to read that one and smothers it with her stick.
Rattino all the way into the net. The whistle blows before the goal is scored.
Get an explanation here.
But Rattino was pretty much untouched going towards the net. She's going to have a free run here. The clock ticks under 4 minutes to go here in the first half. And Rattino, this one stopped by Lambo. Another
2
save by
stops.
Lambo. Megan Grant picks it up for Blair, so that whistle proved to be beneficial for this Buccaneer defense. Dehan fighting for it. Another whistle, and it'll be Warren Hill's ball.
Yeah, that was number 18, Allie Bruhard, able to poke check that ball away and ultimately force the turnover. It's a good job by the Warren Hills defender. Awfully deep in the defense in their offensive zone, but
yep. DeFeo misses Thompson. This will be kept inbounds by Thompson. Thompson being guarded there by Finney.
Can't let her turn the corner like that. You have to force her out wide, or else she gets a lane right in front.
Score goes to 7-5. Nice job of positioning there by Thompson for her first goal of the game.
Now, I said earlier I wanted to take another look at the foul, and I'm going to see if I can pull it up here on replay. I think it might have been too long ago, and it was. So unfortunately, can't take another look. Maybe we'll get it back in the second half.
Bernie will face off once again against Lexi Rutino. And this one is controlled by Pearson. Pearson avoiding cuff. A nice move there.
Very nice move.
Pearson looking for her teammate. She's got Millard in front of the net. Gets it back to Millard. Millard itching to get back involved in this offensive set here for Blair. She'll now have a free run from behind the goal. As the Warren Hills defender forced outside of the zone. Millard back to Bernie. Bernie gets in front. Shot is blocked by Frost as Bernie hits the ground.
It's a good opportunity, able to force the issue and get a shot off at least, which is really all you can ask for.
Pass by Frost goes kind of off the side of her stick. And it'll be played backwards. Abby Bodner. Some good defense. And this one almost picked off by Pearson. Rutino now takes it. Rutino pass underneath to Callahan. Another pass to Cicerelli. And this one eventually into the pocket of Mia Lambo. Lambo looking for a teammate.
So yeah, someone's got to clear out a little bit wide or even behind the net so she can at least get it out.
Megan Grant being pestered by Callahan. Millard can't control this one. And Bruhard kind of stops her momentum. And gets the foul call. Shades of Dwayne Wade. Another push in front. And this will be a free run for Warren Hills, it looks like. Or we'll go back to Blair.
Yeah, it's tough to tell when it's so crowded in front like that. I mean, realistically, the ref could call any number of things. But, you know, she saw one thing and decided to call it, so it'll be Blair ball.
Scooped up by Bodner. Bodner being chased from behind by Bruhard.
Yeah, she's able to pivot and turn right at the right moment because she was about to get stick checked from behind.
Von Stadi gets it to Dehan. Dehan now behind the net. Dehan misses Bernie, who is coming across the center there. Bonner back to Pearson. Pearson, a nice move. Another nice move all the way in for the goal.
Wow. What a sequence right there.
Natalie Pearson with a nice little double move to get all the way to the cage and rip this one in to put Blair back to within one.
Yeah, starting up top. She's going to decide to really just kind of take it herself. Oh, nice little stutter step right there.
And that stutter step allowed for a collision between two Warren Hills defensemen. That was number 15, Amanda Crampton. I believe number 18, Allie Bruhart, as they kind of ran into each other, creating a little bit of extra space for Pearson to put it behind the crossbar.
Yeah, she really sold that move right, too. Dipped her shoulder right, got her body weight. Her hips looked to close up and turn to the right, and then she feinted left, much to the chagrin of the Warren Hill defense.
Pass is a little bit over the stick of, looks like that was Guidi. We have another whistle and a stoppage here. Got 11 seconds to go.
Yeah, that one's going to be a little aggressive on Cicerelli. She couldn't come up with the pass and tried to force the issue, and yet she's going to get it. So we are thoroughly confused up here in the box.
Cicerelli, lawless in front of her, gets by, loses the ball, but another whistle in front of the net. So with 5 seconds left, we might have another free run opportunity for Warren Hills. And Mia Lambo has been fantastic in net all game long, probably with her toughest test yet. Cicerelli, a pass underneath, unselfish, and Callahan will put this one in. No one was expecting that, and an assist for Cicerelli to go along with her 2 goals, and that'll be Carrie Callahan's 2nd goal of the game.
So let's take a look at the play just before that developed the foul here. And we see the pass is errant, couldn't quite get there. And, you know, I thought that Cicerelli didn't have the position, was really trying to elbow and push her way in. In fact, at the end, she ended up behind there, pushing her down, and they awarded the ball to her. So yeah, I'm a little confused at that call, and unfortunately, it really cost Blair a goal there.
So Blair heads into halftime, trailing 8-6 here, live from Hampshire Field. It's been a bit of a defensive matchup. A good game so far. Both teams evenly matched. Some good defense, some great goaltending. 3 goals from Callie Millard, 1 from Natalie Pearson, 2 from Megan Burney. On the Warren Hill side, Hannah Cicerelli has 2 to add to her career total of 50. So she now has 52, and she is the reigning goal king at Warren Hills in the history of the school and the history of the program. Lexi Rotino has a goal and an assist. Rachel Phillips has an assist. Katie Thompson with a nice goal. Kylie Guidi with 2, and Carrie Callahan with 2. So those are your goal scorers here for the first half. Derek, what does Blair need to do to get back into it and take control of this game?
I think Burney and Millard really need to just take control of this offense. They need to outwork everyone else on the field in order to create these chances here. I mean, those two together combine for much of the offense, and what they need to do is they need to say, all right, it's time for us to really take control here and start firing it on the net.
Before the season started, we were able to talk to Melissa Earn about her expectations for the team and to highlight some of the individuals that were returning, some newcomers that were really going to contribute, and what she was looking for Blair students to take out of this program. And it's interesting to hear those words before the season and see how they've progressed all season long. So we'll take a look at that after this right here. You're watching Blair Academy Lacrosse on Strive.
I'm excited for the season. We have a very young group of girls coming in. We graduated 7 seniors last year, all of whom were starters. So some big shoes to fill, but the girls so far have been very enthusiastic in practices, and they have great on-field chemistry, so I've been really happy with the way things are going so far. We graduated Council Dawson, who was among one of those seniors, and you know, she's probably the most prolific scorer that the school has ever seen. So, you know, we have obviously some work to do. And we graduated our defensive unit, so we're working to to really fill that gap as well. But I am excited for the season, and I think a lot of the girls have been very mature in stepping up so far. Annie Finney, actually our only senior this season. Yeah, so we're looking, to her to take on a big leadership role. We have tri-captains this year. It's Natalie Pearson, Callie Millard, and Megan Burney. And Megan is a newcomer. They're all juniors. Natalie and Callie are returners. They're 2-year varsity letter winners. So I'm very excited about the leadership. And then Nisha Gupta, who sort of moved up the ranks through the JV program. Very excited about her on defense. Reed Bonstati is a freshman, and she did very well in Florida. And so did Emily Dean, another freshman who did very well in Florida. And they're communicating well with the upperclassmen, so I'm very excited about those young ones. Absolutely, confidence is the number one thing. I truly believe that that's the key to success in anything. I think that players who are confident are able to communicate effectively on the field, and once you're able to do that, you can work as a unit. So I'm hoping that we will really gain confidence as the season progresses. But I really think that that's going to be the key to our success. I hope that they graduate with a love of the game, and I think that our girls right now have that, and I love to see that.
Welcome back here, halftime at Blair Academy as the Buccaneers trail the Warren Hills Blue Streaks by a score of 8-6. And Derek, we're going to take a look at some of the questionable calls here that led to some of the goals for Warren Hills. As this one underneath, I believe it was Callie Millard coming for a pass, and a collision with the defender for Warren Hills.
That's right. It was just thrown. Both of them were moving to the same spot, and Callie, being possibly a little bit shorter, had to jump for it, so her feet left the ground, but she was moving straight towards the ball, and unfortunately collided with the defender. Now, why they called the foul on Callie and not that's number 17. We don't have a roster number for her. Why they called it on her, I'm not sure. Maybe after the game I'll get some clarification. But we also had the foul that went in favor of Cicerelli, which ultimately ended up as a goal. So you see the ball is already on the ground, nearly in the middle of your screen, getting kicked around, and Cicerelli ends up behind her, and that's a little bit of a push. I mean, I fall down on my own all the time. But I don't think these girls do. They're well-conditioned athletes, so I think she got a little bit of a push there. And what the call was on the field, I'm not sure. But again, it went in favor of Warren Hills, and Cicerelli ended up taking it right in, and it ended up as a free run with a very as you said, unselfish play. The pass underneath for the goal off the free run. So, possibly some questionable calls, but that's just our take on it up here. It's my personal take. That doesn't change the fact that Blair is getting outworked on both sides of the ball right now. And in order for them to come back, they really need to turn the offensive up. Mia Lamba has done an outstanding job of stopping a number of free runs to keep them only 2 goals down.
That play came with 5 seconds to go in the half. It was huge. That made the deficit 2 now going into the half, and it took some of the momentum away from Blair. But we are about set to get started here in the second half of play. Callie Millard has 3 goals. Natalie Pearson 1. Megan Burney has 2. So we will be sure to see a hotly contested second half here live from Hampshire Field. And we're excited to bring it to you here live on the Strive Network alongside Derek Raymond. I'm Tom Monfiletto. We will be covering Saturday's Senior Day as the boys lacrosse team takes on Oratory Prep in the bowl, so that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're looking to move our production outside into the open air, so hopefully the weather will cooperate, and so will the internet.
25 minutes on the board. It looks like Natalie Pearson will be taking the draw here for Blair Academy against Lexi Rotino. See the baseball team practicing out to the left as they begin their defense of a back-to-back state championships this Wednesday. I believe they have the 1 seed in the tournament, and will take on the Petty School, who we were able to see them play earlier this year. They took them down 11-1, I believe the score was. And we are underway here in the second half. Nisha Gupta will take it for Blair. And an immediate whistle. On the defensive end, we have Nia Shaw, Megan Grant, Haley Gelberg, and Nisha Gupta for the Buccaneers. Gupta gets it to Pearson and now backs away. Pearson loses it, and it's now controlled by Phillips, and then out to Rotino. Rotino, this is a dangerous spot for Blair to be in. We've seen this before, wide open in front of the goal, and that's Kylie Guidi with her 3rd goal of the game. So we see some mishaps on offense, Derek, lead to some easy opportunities on the defensive end, or on the offensive end for Warren Hills.
Yeah, it's really tough to leave that much space open for the likes of Cicerelli and for Guidi. I mean, it's giving them that much room to work is going to lead to a goal one way or another. So, Blair has to have someone that can run with them to force them to make a decision earlier. Otherwise, they're just going to have people waiting at the net.
Pearson with a strong draw here, and she will get it herself. So now Blair's got the numbers on the offensive zone, looking to convert this into a goal as they're down 3 now, 9-6. Pearson runs past Millard behind the net and gets it back to her. Millard looking for her Blair teammates, cutting towards the net.
I was D-hand cutting, but unfortunately can't get it to her, and we'll get a face guarding call, which might end up as a free run. It will.
So here comes Millard, fires this one, and it's blocked by Snow, but Bernie will pick this one up.
Yeah, Blair needs to walk away from this possession here with a goal. And that's not going to get called. That was a shoulder to force them outside, and that's not going to get a call here.
But this will. I called the goalie. I mentioned the goalie's name was Snow as she blocked the shot there, but her name is actually Frost. Her last name is Frost. That's Emma Frost. I've been calling it correctly all game long.
That's a little slip.
But a little slip, and I mistakenly referred to her as Snow instead of Frost. But Frost doing a fantastic job in net today for Warren Hills.
At least you stayed with the wintry theme.
Yeah, that's what I was going with. So Rotino now with it.
I just don't see how that shoulder doesn't get called. I mean, she was nearly taken off her feet. Maybe if she did get taken off her feet, it would have gotten called. You need to take some lessons from the NBA here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Cicerelli, very deliberate. Looking for her teammates, slowing it down here. Trying to keep control of the pace of this game. Shannon Zignoli in the game for the first time today.
And Blair's very content right now just to keep bodies in front of the house, play this prevent zone. Not really challenging. I mean, look how much space is between. That's number 2, Graziano, and the closest Blair defender. I mean, no one's coming up and attacking.
I think Blair is a little bit apprehensive to let up some easy passing lanes in front of the net.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you can see it's a little bit more spread out right now. Only one Warren Hills player down by the post. That's number 21, Guidi, who's been a pest for this defense all game, and Warren Hills is perfectly content to just sit and let the clock run.
Interesting strategy here. As Cicerelli is just going to sit there, take her time, and wait for somebody to come guard her.
You know, there's no rule against this. There's no shot clock or anything like that. And you see the two Blair offensive players right there, unable to go past that red line. So all they can do is just sit there helplessly.
That's Emma Loring, number 2, into the game for the first time today for the Buccaneers. And Lexi Rotino is a picnic basket short of a nice day at the park.
Yeah, that's it. Here we go. Just make something happen. Come up and challenge her.
And Rotino with a nice move on Shaw. And now Gelberg gives her the business. It's Graziano out in the right corner. Gupta now.
That was almost Cicerelli untouched or unguarded in the middle.
And Guidi gets this one blocked by Lambo. So a beautiful play by Lambo. Blair trying to take control of the pace of the game if they can, but this one will be stolen away by Cicerelli. Cicerelli with a nice move towards the goal. Back out, and another whistle on Blair. They wasted Warren Hill's offense in that possession, wasted a good 2.5 minutes.
They sure did. I mean, we still have 19 minutes left in this game, but there's as a coach, I don't know what, Warren Hills, you're perfectly content to do that. No one's going to pressure you, so you're just going to sit there passing around. You might upset the fans as this shot is off the bar and ricochets wide to the right of Lambo, but for Blair, you don't have time. Isn't on your side here. You have to force the issue and challenge and hope that your defense can swing around and back you up when someone takes that risk to go ahead and challenge up front.
We're going to stop the clock here.
Not sure.
Got a soccer ball on the field, but we will get back into play here. Gupta loses it, also loses her footing, and this is picked up by Bruhard. Bruhard gets it knocked away by Bernie. And this Buccaneer team, a little bit apprehensive on defense. You can't really blame them because every single thing that they've done has been whistled for a foul.
Yeah, on defense, on offense, I mean, they really can't get away from these whistles here, and it's hurting them. So you're right. They're not going to body up as hard as they would have in the very beginning, because they've been told, you can't do that right now. They've been, told no.
And this eventually is scooped up by Abby Bodner after a great defensive play by Megan Grant. Finney can't come up with it, and she will attempt to scoop up the ground ball. And we have another whistle. Fans starting to get a little bit irritated with the man and woman in stripes today.
Well, I share their frustration at some of these calls here. That one seemed innocuous enough. No one ended up with possession, so, let that one play through.
And here comes Millard, and Millard will hit the ground, and we will have, I believe, could be a card. I'm not really sure. It is not a card. It'll just be a free run here for Millard.
I was half expecting that to go against Millard for an aggressive try.
Yeah, playing too hard.
Yeah.
Under 17 to go here in the first half. Blair down 3. Still in the game. The ball largely in the Blair defensive zone for most of the second half here. So Millard is going to go back around the back of the net, and now she's going to start it all over here for Blair.
Yeah, she really didn't have an angle for the free run. So she was forced to go around and set up an offense here as it's Pearson with it.
Pearson gets it back to Millard. Millard trying to make a break in front. She does. Shake somebody out of her shoes.
I beg your pardon. She's wondering what the call was. I'm at a loss here, Tom. That's another one we're gonna have to take a look at. I hate for this to be a grilling the referees type of game, but this is the only thing that's standing out in my mind. That the most memorable performance cannot be the Zebras in any sport.
Well, we are seeing some great play out of Haley Gelberg on the defensive end for Blair, and I can definitely notice the aggressiveness in her play.
Yeah.
A little bit more of a sense of urgency. And unfortunately called for a foul here, so a free run by Lexi Rattino for Warren Hills. And Rattino will go underneath and find the back of the net here for Warren Hills to extend the lead to 4. So 10-6 now the score. And Blair looking for some kind of a jolt as Coach Earn is going to take a timeout. So this has been a rather strange second half here as Warren Hills lulled everybody here to sleep in their first couple of possessions, which was an interesting strategy, yet effective strategy.
Yeah, it took time off the clock, and their lead stayed the same. So, if you're winning, that's a good move. I'm going to try and pull up, and I do have the replay here of Millard's shake and bake, which shook the referee's whistle into play here. So we'll take another look. But that's Millard behind the net, accepting the pass. And let's see. I'm just going to slow it down real slow here so I can try and figure out what it was.
They're calling a shoulder on Millard, so we couldn't really see it from our vantage point. It didn't look like a lot of contact was made. It just looked like a hard step with her right foot, but they called the offensive foul.
Yeah, they
on
did.
Millard.
They did. I'm going to say, we had a girl who's
what
nearly.
What are you supposed to do?
I don't know. I forget who it was, but we had a Blair attacker nearly knocked off her feet with a shoulder, and that wasn't called. And we have, I think it was Bruhart again, who was outstretched, possibly off balance. There was a little bit of contact. She didn't fall to the ground. She wasn't displaced from her spot. And we get Millard with the call here. I don't know what you're supposed to do. I mean, it's frustrating for me up here. I can only imagine, Millard's hair only getting redder out of anger because she can't do anything. I mean, she's unable to progress into the offensive zone with any kind of physicality or aggressive step without the referees calling her for something. So, it's unfortunate to see, but they have to play the game as the refs are calling it. So they have to change their strategy a bit to conform to what's going on right now, and they're not able to do that.
If you are Coach Earn, what are you saying to your team in this timeout here?
Keep your head cool. Keep your wits about you. We still have 15 minutes left in the game. Very easily you can score 4 goals in 15 minutes. You can score 10 goals in 15 minutes if you make your passes crisp. That's one thing Blair has had some trouble today with so far. It's being able to handle these mid-range and long passes is they can't, if they don't have the speed that Warren Hills does, they have to make up for it in crisp, long passes. And so far they haven't been able to do that. So I'm going to look for them to be able to make those crisp passes in the next 15 minutes. We have an excellent pass and shot from Millard to Pearson right off the bat, and that's what they needed.
On cue. They're listening to you up here, Derek.
I've seen many a lacrosse game in my day, especially girls lacrosse, as I went to the College of New Jersey, and they have an excellent girls lacrosse program there, and that's what they feed off of: crisp, clean passes.
And that one went from Bernie to Pearson. Went from Bernie to Millard to Pearson.
Those are the big three. Those are the offensive three that you need.
And the score now 10-7. Eventually grabbed by Annie Finney. She outworks Katie Thompson to get it to Abby Bodner. Bodner racing towards the cage. Millard settles behind it. And Bodner is going to look to set something up here for the Blair offense. That was Pearson's second goal on the day. As Bernie now has it. Bernie finds Finney. And what Warren Hills has not allowed is they have not allowed, as Millard steps over a Warren Hills defender, but gets this one out of bounds. What I was going to say is Warren Hills has not allowed for the free cut to the net by the Blair attack.
No, and that's a very popular. It's one of the more popular moves to make in girls lacrosse, is just being able to beat them and cut across the middle to have an open look. And most teams feed off of that. And unfortunately, Blair hasn't been able to do that today, so they've had to come up with more clever ways to score here.
And Abby Cuff gets it to a wide open, uncontested Kylie Guidi, who already has 3 goals on the game, but she can't put this one through, and this will be Blair ball. So a break here for the Bucks as Lambo is going to get it to Pearson, a beautiful pass and catch, and here goes Pearson.
That was the save of the day from Lambo. Even if, she just was able to contest the shot and didn't get a stick on it, her being able to force the issue, save of the day right there to keep it a 10-7 game.
Millard a little bit out of control with this one, tries to find Pearson to her left, but throws it out of bounds. I was just about to say that we were seeing a pretty gutsy performance here by Millard. Wasn't even sure she was going to play all day. Came out from the training room about a half hour before the game and told Coach Earn that she was playing. Here comes Rattino. Rattino bounces this one, but it goes past Lambo and not into the goal. And it'll be picked up by Rattino once again, getting her own rebound. Back to the front of the net, and this one goes off the knee of Lambo. Mia Lambo fighting her behind off in the cage as this one knocked away. And Megan Grant will pick it up, and now a whistle on Warren Hills.
Lambo coming up huge in these past couple of minutes. Timely saves, keeping Blair within an earshot of the lead here. And that's what they need.
Millard has it once again. She splits 2 defenders.
Oh, the one time.
I believe that was Dean in front of the net, and she couldn't put it through. But we saw that a couple of times against Sparta, that almost touch goal there off a nice pass, but they weren't able to convert it here.
Yeah, like a hockey one-time shot. They're able to just, in one move, accept the pass and shoot it.
So a whistle will be called, or a whistle will be blown here as the foul was on Pearson. And now Bernie faces up Thompson, and a whistle on Bernie. So Thompson takes off down the right sideline. To her left is Annie Finney, and she is going to overthrow her intended target here.
Lambo's got to get rid of it quick.
Lambo gets rid of it, but has her stick deflected by Guidi. And I believe that's Campbell with it right now. Back out to Callahan, and now Warren Hills is going to put the triangle offense on.
Yeah, they're going to look to burn some time here, and Blair needs to do exactly that, and that's step up and make something happen. And
Phillips with an aggressive move towards the goal here, and the whistle will be against Blair.
You're going to kick Bernie out of there because it was probably on her, knowing how aggressive she is. It's a tough look for the Blair defense right there. They have to, well, fortunately she didn't run straight to the net, but number 4 has got to turn around.
Contact made by Gelberg here, so we'll have another free run at it. I was getting a little bit distracted by some of the confrontation that was happening at the top of the key there.
Yeah, that was Bodner who turned her head and left a lane.
This one is in for a goal. So the lead gets extended to 11-7 here. Ten minutes to go here in the second half. Blair down 4. I believe the Warren Hills JV team now in the crowd to cheer on their varsity team.
That's what it sounds like. We haven't really heard any cheers all day to speak of for the visiting Warren Hills, but their game ended early, I suppose.
And this one will be controlled by Warren Hills, and that's Rachel Phillips once again. Finds Guidi, but cannot convert the pass. And now Lambo tries to get it out. Guidi right there, and it will be Blair ball, I believe.
And they're going to, because of when the whistle was called, they're going to force Lambo back there, but she sprints to her home.
So Ratina tightly guarded by Lawless, and a whistle on Lawless. Ratino gets it to Thompson. Thompson works it over to Phillips. Phillips, a nice move on Pearson. Gets it back to Ratino, and they're going to slow it up once again. Ratino gets past Thompson, a nice move on Bernie, and she will bring it back out.
That's a good job of not allowing them to really penetrate the lane here, as Bernie is forced off to the side.
So Ratino there with 3 opportunities and a blow to the head here will give it back to Warren Hills. So Ratino with 3 opportunities there to approach the net and try to score, and she brings it back out each time. So Warren Hills is prioritizing killing the clock rather than scoring here or attempting to score. And this will result in Ratino with a free run at it. And Ratino goes low, and it's blocked away by Lambo. Mia Lambo has been nothing short of
spectacular.
Yeah, spectacular here today. That'll go out of bounds, and it will go back to Warren Hills. And Warren Hills' offense here, Derek, in the entire second half has been extremely frustrating for this Blair's entire team. Not only their offense, who've been kind of chilling, waiting,
right?
But it has been it has done its job in frustrating the absolute heck out of this Blair team.
Yeah.
Here comes Phillips. She loses it, but a whistle again.
When you have an offense that's perfectly content to sit there and hold it and not take any risk, it really puts the defense on their back heels of, what are we going to do, because we don't have the clock on our side and we have to force the issue here. But every time you do that, and another great save by Lambo. She's just been unbelievable.
That was Phillips on the shot attempt, and Guidi blocks the pass from Lambo and is able to get it past her for another goal. So 12-7 is the score now. We have 7 minutes to go here in the second half.
Yeah, it's a really good first try, but she did get the pass blocked, and it's very unfortunate because she had an excellent first save. The timeout's called here.
So we will get another timeout. Coach Earn needs to right this ship here.
Yeah, with only 7 minutes to go, the differential now 5.
Coach Earn talking to her goalie, who, unfortunate for that play to happen because she's been having a great game, but I think a little sooner than probably she was getting a little bit too antsy with the ball there and made a kind of a careless pass that Guidi was able to take advantage of for her 4th goal on the day.
And it's also the responsibility of the Blair defense to really surround her with options. She's really forced to only make one pass there. And what you have to do as a defenseman is give her an opportunity to go backwards with it. If there's only one or possibly 2 Warren Hills attack attackman right there. You have to just populate your side with available recipients for a pass. And so when you don't do that, you kind of force the goalie into a hole here, and they have to take only one way out. And in this case, it ends up being a blocked pass leading to a goal.
12-7 is the score here. Got 7 minutes to go. We will be back here on Blair's campus to stream Saturday's men's lacrosse game against Oratory Prep. That is their last home game. That's their senior day here. And we will be moving over to the bowl. So we always like doing games from there because of how picturesque it is. So another nice location here on the Blair campus.
And hopefully it's senior day, if I'm not mistaken. That's Saturday. And so I'm hopeful that during that game we'll have the better part of the Blair faithful out there. I mean, I'd like to see the bowl filled with fans here.
A lot of important games going on this weekend along with that one, as Cicerelli will control it, and another whistle immediately goes against Pearson. But this week is the Prep A tournament for both softball and baseball. We got done streaming 2 softball games in a row, one where Blair won by way of the 10-run rule against Vernon. That was on Friday. And then on Wednesday, we saw a performance from Jade Assad that saw 16 strikeouts and a win over Petty to put Blair in the driver's seat for the Maple League Championship, as Pearson absorbs a moving pick here, I believe.
Yeah, that was some performance by Assad, 16 strikeouts. That's got to be some kind of a personal or school record.
I think it is absolutely a career high. I'm not sure what the school record is for strikeouts in a game, but it was very impressive, and it was a huge win for Blair. Also, the baseball team begins their state tournament run this week, actually, on Wednesday, and then they will be playing on Saturday and Sunday if they are to make it to the championship. So it is a double elimination tournament. They have the 1 seed.
And Blair softball, of course, with those wins earlier, they now control their own destiny for the Maple Championship, as this one is received and fired on by Millard.
So Millard with her 4th goal of the game, which adds to her team lead. She has 41 on the year. So Callie Millard says, we're not going anywhere yet. 12-8 now the score.
Yeah, nicely set up. You saw her streak into the middle there. She read it perfectly. She read that pass perfectly. Was able to put herself in a really nice position.
5.5 to go here. Blair down 4. Coach Earns' timeout struck a nerve here with this Blair Buccaneer team, as they were able to come out and score almost immediately afterwards.
That happened earlier on the earlier timeout. They were able to set it up immediately and get a goal.
And a whistle goes against Warren Hill, so it'll be Blair ball. And Megan Burney will control it now for the Bucks. Time for these 3 captains of this Blair Buccaneer team. I'm sorry, that's Dehan's going to control it, to get their squad back into this game. Down 4. The more shots on goal, the better.
That's just, they need control, and they need to pepper the net here.
So Emma Loring in front. Spins back to Burney. Burney's got some space in the middle. Absorbs some contact, falls to the ground. No call. And this is going to be called on Dean. Derek, what I have been noticing, okay? I've been noticing every single time there has been any kind of contact whatsoever on the defensive end for Blair, there has been a whistle, there's been a turnover, there's been a free run, and I don't think I've seen it called the other way.
Yeah, for me, it really appears that they are much quicker to call a stick infraction than they are a body infraction. And, I can understand that. I understand that they have, these are little weapons that they have, or they can be. And so you need to play on this, side of safety, but they're using their body just as much, and these girls are absorbing a lot of contact, in shoulders and little hip checks, and they're not getting any calls. But you lay that stick anywhere close to their head or to the hands, and they'll call that one for sure.
3.5 to go here. Warren Hills is going to take their time once again, and Lawless tries to get it out of the stick of Cicerelli, and will called for a foul here. So Lawless has to go about 4 yards back to allow for Cicerelli to pass it out. Thompson gets it back to Cicerelli. Cicerelli is just going to work with it until somebody comes on her. Cicerelli killing time, as she has been doing so perfectly all game long. Cicerelli only 2 goals on the game, but has really been the leader of this offense here and the catalyst of this offense for Warren Hills. Guidi leads all Warren Hills scorers with 4. Carrie Callahan has a hat trick of her own. And Thompson finds Callahan again, and this one will go out of bounds, but Guidi is right there to keep it in Warren Hills' possession. 2:20 to go now here in the fourth quarter. Cicerelli in front, a beautiful save by Lambo. Lambo trying to get it away from the...
This is what I'm saying. Blair needs to populate Lambo with options.
And this one will be taken away by Callahan. She'll scoop it up, 2 minutes to go.
There'll be a whistle.
That'll be a foul against Gelberg. So Carrie Callahan will have a free run at it from the side here. And this one in front, and another beautiful save by Lambo to fix our clock here, get it back to 2 minutes. Just under 2 minutes, 1:52 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you can't get anywhere close to the stick. They'll call that, whatever they decide to call that, they're going to call it, because they've done it all game. At least they've been consistent as far as calling it against Blair. Can't imagine Coach Ern is too happy about it, and the players are extremely frustrated. No, it's going the other way, so there you go. Thank you very much. And we have 1.5 minutes to score a few here.
Here comes Millard with it. My goodness, she is fast. It's all the way to the goal, and Callie Millard puts it in for the Buccaneers. 1.5 minutes to go. A 3-goal deficit here for the Bucs, and this is where the draws become ever so important.
Yeah, they're extremely important, and if Blair wants to have a shot here, they need to win the next 2, because they'll win 1, go up and score real quick. They need a 5-second goal here. They need to be able to win the draw, and whether it's Millard or Pearson or Bernie, whoever it is, they need to streak straight to the net and put it in.
Pearson gets it up high, and a beautiful control there by Bernie. Gets it back to Pearson, who gets it to Millard. Millard falls, gets her footing. Now she's 30 yards out, and she is going to go around the perimeter.
Watch that stick, an excellent defensive move, and it will be, it's going to go to Warren Hills.
This will go to Warren Hills as Lexi Rotino, with a nice defensive play there, gets it out of the stick of Callie.
That exact same move was called a foul a few minutes ago for Cicerelli. Not to say Cicerelli committed the foul, but the infraction was committed on Cicerelli, and they called that one. The same move, from behind, whacked the stick and knocked the ball loose, and it was called a foul.
And here comes Rotino streaking down the left sideline, puts a spin. Emily Dehan with an incredible defensive play to get the ball back for Blair. Under a minute to go here. Here comes Dehan. She's looking for Pearson all the way across the field. He's being guarded tightly here by Warren Hills.
Yeah, they've got to set it up immediately. Pearson's, no, she needed to get that pass and cut right to the middle. As we'll get a whistle and a clock stoppage with just over 36 seconds to go.
And another whistle here. This one against Blair once again. So Phillips will have another free run at it. Phillips taking off down the right sideline. Another whistle.
They can't. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, she's probably, committing some kind of infraction there, hitting the stick or the body in a certain way, but.
Cicerelli now with it on the outside. Under 20 seconds to go, and it looks like Warren Hills will just bring it back out and let the time run off the clock. Cicerelli makes a break towards the goal, and she will bring it back out. 5 seconds to go, and for good measure, she'll put this one in to the back of the net.
I want to take a look. I mentioned earlier that Cicerelli got a call on here. It was committed. Foul was committed by, I believe, Millard here. I'm going to take another look. Here we go. Pull it up on replay. So you see, right at the top of the key, that Millard's just going to take your stick, and I've looked at it a few times, not touch her head, whack the back of it, ball's loose. That's a foul. And I think it was because they thought that it, as I've put it, bopped her on the head. But I've seen it. I've watched it 3 or 4 times at this point. I didn't see, her hair move or anything like that. But it was too close, and the referee, they have to call it like they see it. And she saw an infraction, but it's very unfortunate that it went against her because that, again, led to a goal.
2 seconds left, 1 second left, and that will do it here at Blair Academy. So the Buccaneers fall to Warren Hills by a score of 13-9. It was a tough-fought battle. It was a defensive battle. Mia Lambo showed some serious prowess in net. Callie Millard with 5 goals to extend her team lead. She has 42 goals on the year. Natalie Pearson added 2. Megan Burney added 2. But things just did not go Blair's way today here at Hampshire Field.
No, it really didn't, and you can't blame the refs in this situation, even though half the broadcast I spent, kind of mumbling about it. You really can't. They were outworked, and we get some fans agreeing with us here. I'm not the only one who thought it was bad officiating today. We have some Blair loyal fans here that agree, but they were outworked on both sides of the ball, and that's really what you have to take away from the game. Whether they lost or won because of the referees is immaterial. They were outworked, and they have to go back. And fortunately for them, this game, we record it and put it up on YouTube, so they'll be able to watch it back a few times, and they'll see that they just left some Warren Hill attacker just right at the post, ready to shoot. And you can't do that with the speed that they have.
It was an unfortunate game here for the Buccaneers, as it is their second to last game of the season. They have one more against Hill, but this Buccaneer team played their hearts out today, and that was obvious from the start. There was no question of effort from start to finish, especially in the second half where their backs were against the wall a little bit. You saw some play out of people like Allie Gelberg, out of people like Annie Finney, Mia Lamberg, Haley Gelberg, I should say. I'm sorry.
What a day Lambo had.
Mia Lambo had a great game as well. So the effort was never in question. It was a tremendous game. It was a tremendously fought game by this Blair Academy team. Just unfortunate the result and how certain aspects of it were out of their control. But they have to bounce back as they play Hill to finish out their season. So we appreciate everything from here from Coach Earn and the entire Lacrosse staff and the Lacrosse parents. Been very supportive of this whole initiative here from Strive. And we will be back on Saturday for the boys lacrosse game against Oratory Prep live from the bowl. It is their senior day, and we'll be back here for that. And we could potentially, not sure, add one of the state games here for Blair Academy. So stay tuned to our website, www.strivenetwork.tv. Also, Blair's website, www.blair.edu. I want to thank the communications department here at Blair, including Melissa Collins and Susie Logan, and especially the athletic department here, who's been helping us throughout this entire year, Doc G, Lara Curtis, Tammy Finley, and, of course, Coach Stone. So until next time, we will see you. Have a great evening, everyone. The score, once again, Warren Hills 13 and Blair Academy 9.